Weight loss jabs are more popular than ever, aren't they? But should getting them on the NHS be made easier? Well, Sir Tony Blair thinks so, even suggesting they should be made available by post without a physical trip to the doctors for NHS patients. That's after they've done their checks. You can do that currently if you pay for them privately. So do you reckon we should be making them more accessible, Carl?
Well, from what I can gather, they seem pretty accessible, but my son started doing them. He's on, is it Manjaro, that one? And at first I was like, oh, you know, and he was overweight, what am I saying? He was overweight, but my initial thing was, well,
so we're talking about Shane, aren't we?
Shane, yeah. Well, just, you know, why are you doing that? Because I always worry that we're going to find out side effects, you know, in another year of what they cause or what they don't cause. I don't know, I get all worried about it. But I have to say, it's been amazing for him, for his own mental health, I guess, as well. And he's feeling better about himself. And I think he just needed that first kick in. And he said to me today, the thing is, Mum, I'm not doing it as well as I should be, because really, you know, he's not hit the gym while he's doing it.
Is he still on it now?
Yeah, he's lost nearly 3 stone on it.
OK.
And he's taking quite a low, like one of the lowest doses of it. It's not the high dose of it. But he feels better. He's going to come off it in another month. He's been on it for a few months. You know, it's not like I'm going to use this forever. And then he said, and then I really want to keep it off because it's given him that boost. I think initially when he had the 3 stone to lose, he, like I've been there as well, you know, it's daunting.
It's overwhelming,
to think, oh, it's going to take a year.
But has his relationship with food
Well,
changed,
that's the only thing. I think it has in some respects because he can't eat as much as he did. He just can't. But do I think he's completely healthy all the time? No. And has he given up, you know, when he's out with the lads having a drink? No. And I see the effects of that. So that's what he's quite open to it. And what I love about him is people go, wow, you look great. And he goes, yeah, I'm on the jab. And he absolutely owns it. And I love that about him, that he's not... You know, when I texted him today and said, do you mind if I mention it on the show? He's like, no, why would I mind? It's the truth. Like, it's what... You know, it's why lie about it? So I love him for that. I mean, do I worry about it a bit? Because I think sometimes a lot of overeating or whatever, a lot of it comes from a mental health section and your relationship with food and what you're using food for, you know. So I do think we should look more into that, especially for really morbidly obese who are just struggling with mental health issues as well. But for him, it's been great. And I think, actually, for his health, it's been good because he was getting more overweight. He was getting very out of breath. He's only 37. You know, and all of a sudden, he just feels and looks much better.
There was a study and the results were released last week where they looked at what happens once you finish taking either of those types of jabs. And they said within a year, individuals tend to put on the same amount of weight that they lost in the first place, and
That's
in
like a diet.
some circumstances put on even more weight.
That's the same as
because,
dieting.
it's the psychology of it. So, therefore, with that in mind, Katie, do you think that it should be more readily available?
I am very supportive of it because, just like you said, Colleen, I think, you know, there's so much shame attached to being overweight. And actually, if you look into it, it's psychological, it can be a form of self-harm, it's emotional, and lots of people want to change things and they can't because food is a real addiction. Sugar is a real addiction. And actually, there's loads of diets out there that we're all absolutely fine with that are super harmful. You know, Slim Fast, Slimming World, it's still disordered eating, deprivation, and ultimately setting you up for failure, which can be even more damaging for people that are on that kind of constant merry-go-round. Yes, I agree, you know, we don't know everything about the long-term side effects and the future and the links to pancreatic cancer. But also sugar is linked to cancer, obesity is linked to cancer, you know.
And we know that.
But then,
and we know that.
But then, you know, any new drug that comes onto the market, it takes quite a while before we're able to know if there are any long-term side effects. So the direct links with anything like pancreatic cancer hasn't yet been proven because it's not been around long enough. But what do you think of it, Janet?
Well, I don't think it should be any more available on the National Health, to be perfectly honest, because I think the National Health is struggling for cash as it is. And I just think the most important thing is to rebalance our attitude to food. And I've said it on this show so many times, you've got to start with children on the day they start school by using the money that you could be spending on the NHS providing this drug, by funding proper meals in schools and free breakfast for all school children. And also teaching all children about nutrition and how to cook simple, you know, filling food for them and their parents, and they will be able to cook for their parents as well. But I know this because my partner taught nutrition and taught cooking in a special school, and so I know it from first experience. What bothers me is that we've got a generation of overweight children and we're not really doing anything about it. As for overweight adults, I agree with Katie and Colleen. A lot of it is a mental issue, and it is a form of addiction, just like alcohol or drug abuse. But I don't think the NHS can go down the route of dishing out this drug because, as Katie alluded to, and you, all eating plans, whether they're the drinks you take or whatever, all of them don't work long-term once you stop doing them. Your weight loss will stop, you'll plateau, and you'll gradually put it back on. The fact is, you've got to think about food differently.
Yeah, I think, yes, yeah. And essentially, unless we get to the crux of that, these issues, things will carry on. They will do.